One man is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet who millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
All right, so we're back again. Once, one more time today, 9:45 p.m. Imminently. Hey, let me see. I've got some news for you, talking about what may be happening. Let's listen in.
They're all lined up on the colonnade, which is basically catty-corner to the new presidential wall of fame, leading into the Oval Office there next to the new patio that President Trump has had installed. And so they are putting the finishing touches on his remarks. Somebody told me in the West Wing within the last hour or so, he is going to lay the entire blame for all pain caused by the shutdown. People missing paychecks, people missing flights, people having delayed flights, SNAP benefits being affected. All of that he's going to blame on Democrats because officials here believe they've got the most compelling case in that the deal that they were willing to sign on to 42 days ago before the shutdown is essentially the same exact deal that Democrats agreed to today. It started in the Senate, and then it took a little bit of time, but got through the House, and they basically do not think that they gave an inch here. And now these congressional Democrats, Hakeem Jeffries, had this thing called a magic minute that congressional leaders get in the minority in the minority party, where they can talk for as long as they want to try to stall a bill. And we have seen congressional leaders in that magic minute go for hours or longer. But he didn't go that long because the Democratic Party basically knew that it was time to move on to something else. The something else, he said, is going to be fighting for these Obamacare subsidies, the things that they wanted at the beginning of the shutdown that they did not get in this deal. They're going to expire at the end of next month. He said he's got one of these discharge petitions. Oh, let's see if we can basically just jam them through the House and then hope for the best with the Senate. There's such a low probability of that happening unless there are bipartisan talks. And like we were talking about earlier, and if you talk to President Trump, they don't like Obamacare. They know that a lot of people rely on the benefits in Obamacare, but the actual Obamacare that no Republicans voted for 15 years ago, they they would like to have something else in place. We don't know what exactly that is going to be. We don't know if now is the time for that because there's so many other things that are in flux with the economy. But it is a big ask for congressional Democrats, especially because they are having to go to their constituents hat in hand and say, we just held out for 42 days and we don't have anything to show for it.
You're expecting
42 days and they got Butkus. And while we were in between shows here, walked the dog, grabbed something to eat, I turned on the television, I put it on CNN, and I put it on MSNBC, and the immediate pivot, I'm pretty sure while they're in the White House tonight getting spanked, you're going to hear Epstein, Epstein, Epstein. There can be nothing that shows you how bad off the Democrats are, is that they immediately now are going to pivot to Epstein. Nothing to help people, nothing to do here in the holiday season. They got nothing. And all they're going to do is pivot to Epstein over and over and over again. What do we got here? We got, I forget her name, Claudia, and then Lawler, these two guys, these people in Congress. I'm borrowing some Fox content tonight because I'm exhausted. And, sometimes these people have something good to say. So let's take a listen to what they have to say.
Disaster. There's no question we have feckless, incompetent leadership, part of the reason you moved to Florida. But we need to turn it around next year. Elise Stefanik is running for governor. And ultimately, we're going to give New Yorkers a choice.
Yeah, Claudia, it was such a heavy lift, took so long, and so many Americans suffered. And then the question is, for what?
Yeah, well, the Democrats didn't get anything, but it's again the same thing. Mike and I both come from New York, and we know how poor our New York leadership is. They never face opposition. They get glowing praise from the press all the time. And now you see these two leaders, whether it's Hakeem Jeffries in the House or Chuck Schumer in the Senate, they're leading the National Democrats. And what are they doing? They're leading them right down the toilet because they're getting a communist now. A Marxist communist is going to be running the largest city in our country and an important city in our state. Everything that's going to happen in New York City is going to reverberate in upstate New York, and it's going to hurt upstate, way upstate where I am, up in western and central New York. This is going to be a real problem, and New Yorkers really need to wake up because we're going to continue to see the outmigration. The Democrats don't care. The misery index does not affect them like it does us, like it does President Trump. You're going to see President Trump opening this government back up tonight and making sure that our troops are paid, that our SNAP benefits are.
So just want to let you know, supposedly I was watching earlier, there was an interview with Stephen Miller. And Stephen Miller seemed to intimate that President Trump was going to come out firing. I mean, absolutely blistering the Democrats. As well he should. These people have screwed up the country. We've lost a ton of money, a ton of revenue for the country. People have been hurt, and they didn't care. So I wonder, are we going to see within the next, week, is Chuck Schumer going to just ride off into the sunset with Nancy? This is no longer a party that he can control. It's no longer a party that even wants him in office anymore. And so I would not be surprised if we see Chucky say, I'm done. Just go ahead and bail at this point. You got nothing. And the media is just circling the drain. I mean, they were running stuff about Epstein. How bad must it be for the panicans online as well as the Democrat media when your immediate pivot after all 41 days, 42 days of dragging the American public through all of this to now pivot to Epstein? Doesn't make any sense. Well, actually it does. They got nothing. And they can't admit defeat, but I think President Trump is going to pound it into their heads. I think he's going to pound it into the media. I think he's going to have some very stern words for people. And watch things pivot over the next couple days. Watch as they pivot in terms of, the people who have been complaining. You've seen the people who've been pointing fingers and saying that Trump is weak. What are they going to do when he comes out firing now. So I don't know what he can do because we didn't break the filibuster, so there's still a hard thing for him to accomplish. He can't do everything by executive order. Unless, of course, there are now some Democrats who realize we can't do this anymore. Maybe that's what they have in store. We saw tonight, I think it was 6 Democrats cross the aisle. 6 Democrats in the House said, yeah, let's open the government. So you have to wonder if that's what they're thinking, that they can, is Fetterman right there? Are there enough to get something to the 60? I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that's what he's thinking, that he can get some stuff done because now this leadership has nothing. I mean, less than nothing they can do about it. It's crazy. So I just expect him to come out firing guns blazing against the Democrats. I'm still looking at my different feeds. Everybody's talking, nothing going on. Gives me a chance real quick here to talk about Patriot Addict. If by some chance Patriot Addict, if things happen while we're doing this, then I will then have to make sure that I cut this short. 1 second, and we'll go ahead and make this happen. Where's Patriot Addict? I gotta hit Patriot. Where's the button? Here we go. Hey everybody, Patriot Addict, one of our great sponsors here, is back with another great offer for you. It's a Trump collector's bundle that they have named the Berry Pack. This Berry Pack is the ultimate Trump collection. It features the Trump 4547 hat, which I just happen to have right here. The Trump 4547 hat. That's what you get as part of the Berry Pack, Trump 4547 hat. In addition, you get the Trump 2024 flag that's been selling out nationwide. I want you to take a look at this flag. It's awesome. Let's go ahead and put it aside so you guys can see it. We use it sometimes out in the yard. Lots of friends put it on their boat. The President Trump 2024 flag, Make America Great Again. That's part of the Berry Pack. What else do you get? Well, in addition to the hat and the flag, you also get the Trump blanket. We were showing these a while back, but it was too warm. It was summertime. Now that we're here in the fall and headed to winter and here in the holiday season, here is the Trump blanket. It's huge. It's warm. It's big. It's perfect for a tailgate, perfect for a hayride, or just hanging out back on the porch next to your fire pit. In addition, keep realizing what we got here. We have the Trump hat. We have the Trump flag, we have the Trump blanket, but now you also get the Trump red knife. The Trump red knife, which I've shown you many times. You get this Trump red knife. Let's look at it. It's sharp. It's got the window breaker. It's got the seatbelt cutter. Very sharp. It's assisted opening. Good weight. Great knife. Many people here in Fanfare have gotten this knife. So now let's recap again. You get the hat. You get the blanket. You get the flag. You get the Trump red knife. But if you order the Berry Pack, which comes with no shipping charges or hidden fees on this knife, all these 4 items would normally cost $238, but they're practically giving it away to our viewers for just $69. And just be aware, prices have already gone up, so I strongly recommend you take action now. They set aside just 500 berry packs for Fanfare, and they're already down to the last few, and I can't guarantee this collection will ever be available again. So scan the QR code right over here or visit berrypack.com. berrypack.com to claim yours before they disappear forever. That's berrypack.com or scan the QR code now. And just to remind you, it's the hat, it's the red knife, it's the blanket. Let me make sure it's open. It's the blanket, very nice blanket, and it's the flag. Where's the flag? Yeah, all of this. Just go to berrypack.com. You want to put that on your stoop, or on your boat, or on your pickup truck. It's a full collector's pack. So go to berrypack.com or click the QR code on the screen right now and get yours. All right, I got that in before he decided to come back out here. So from what I'm understanding from people, they're still fine-tuning everything because he's going to come out swinging, absolutely swinging on some of these people, deservedly so, because of what they've dragged the entire country through for the last 42 days or whatever it is. Let's see what's going on television. Don't see anything big, so everybody's just burning time at this point, waiting for President Trump to come out. And so we're doing the same thing. So let's take some comments here. So somebody says, I will never get tired of winning. Who's with me? I am with you for sure. Absolutely. I'm not going to get tired of winning. Let's keep going. Me and the wife started out in a trailer. Now we live in a nice house. Jinx needs to learn. This is, my kids understood this. Yeah, we're seeing so many of the panicans blaming us because these young kids can't find a way to live their lives. Such BS. Victoria said it was 43 days. Trump will sign the bill live. Yes, he's gonna sign the bill live here shortly. Is he speaking tonight? Yes, he is. That's what everybody is waiting for at this point. He's waiting. He's going to be coming out. And I believe in addition to speaking, he is going to be taking questions as well. Can you imagine? Can you imagine being in the White House press corps when the last 4 years, wait a minute, Ducey's got some more information. Hold on, let's see what Ducey's got.
It is happening in the next couple of minutes, and we'll go there live. Okay, what are you hearing on your end?
Yeah, it better be happening in the next couple minutes because this is the moment that everybody has been waiting for, who has not gotten a paycheck, who has had government benefits delayed just because House and Senate Democrats and Republicans could not get along. It does seem like there is a Marine sentry now posted outside the West Wing, which is typically a surefire indicator that the president is somewhere in the West Wing. We know that he spent a good chunk of this evening with some bigwig Wall Street CEOs at a dinner, a rare late dinner in the state dining room. He had Jamie Dimon, he had the CEOs of Morgan Stanley and BlackRock and a couple others, I believe, in there trying to figure out things that they can all do together to juice the economy now that the government is going to be back open. I am told right now, this is world exclusive, the bill is on the Resolute desk, Sean. And so any minute now, the way that it works, the press pool goes in and they just all have to stand by. They're not allowed to put out the shot of the Resolute desk until the president is seated and ready. The bill is on the Resolute desk to reopen the government. It had to make a 2-mile trip from Capitol Hill down here to the White House, which is really quiet. I was walking around here. They have all these tents that line the driveway. And I don't know what I was expecting, but the sound of a bill to reopen the entire U.S. government is nothing. The celebrations of all of these government workers who are going to be getting paid for the first time in 6 weeks and who can now go about their normal business as they are trained to do. It's just really quiet. Again, I don't know what I was expecting, but
it's really quiet because they're in bed. Well, I don't know. Do they get all their money at one shot? Are they going to get a 6-week dump into their account? That'd be pretty sweet. That would be really sweet if you're getting a 6-week paycheck all at one shot. Don't blow it all in one place. That's absolutely for sure. Now, one of the things I was talking to Robin about, which we were cracking up, it was pretty funny, is as I was getting ready to say, it's 9:40. Actually, it's 10 o'clock at night. 10 o'clock at night, and all of the media who covers President Trump has to run to the White House, get in place for this event. This guy doesn't sleep. I mean, he could have done this tomorrow morning. Hey, listen, 9 o'clock a.m., meet us here. We're going to do this signing. We're doing it tonight. Bring your rear ends into the office, 9:45, 10 o'clock. We might be here a while. Who knows how long he'll talk? He may go for an hour. It's not like the other 4 years when you were drinking. The president was eating Mapo and was in bed by 5 or 6 o'clock. This guy keeps these people on their toes. And then whatever the people who come to the White House to cover it, remember, they've had to go over there a couple times now. They had the press conference earlier today, then they left, and now they're all being called back tonight at 10 o'clock at night, and Hannity's probably going to be going off the air in like 10 minutes, or unless he stays and they bump Gutfeld back. Everything right now is revolving around, as it should, President Trump. Everything. So all the networks, everybody's got to bring different crews in because he decides at 10 o'clock or 9:45 that he wants to get something done. And you know, whether it be me or the guys at RSBN or any other podcaster, this is what you do. This man does not sleep. I love it. I absolutely love it. Let's check in. Ducey's still talking.
Programs, but President Trump just sitting here on his hands while they work things out up the street wasn't going to change any of that, and so he went about his business as he was going to all along, conducting trade tariff negotiations, all these different calls. He met with Xi. Just a lot of things continued to happen. And to their credit, a lot of White House officials were deemed essential, and they have had to be here for 42 days, not getting a paycheck. There were various degrees of that throughout Washington, D.C. I just got another text. I think they can tell in the West Wing that we are filling time until the president comes out. The guy who does the memes said that we should talk about
If you're
sombreros.
the president, guess what, Peter?
Yeah.
If you're the president, you get to decide what time this starts.
Right. And
Sean Hannity, Peter Ducey don't get to decide.
No, but it is a reminder.
You know, one thing that I think people would find interesting, I have asked you this question before, because
Yeah.
you had this interesting relationship with Joe Biden, and now you have all of this access to President Trump. How different is it for you? And more importantly, how do your White House colleagues, people that you work with, isn't there a part of them that's happy that they have access again, that they're in the Oval Office again, that they're, aren't predetermined questions, like 2 or 3 of them, and you're shuffled out maybe once a month, whenever it was? I got to believe that people are happy about that part, even though they probably don't like me or their show.
It's totally backwards, covering Joe Biden for 4 years and covering this president for almost a year now, in that the Biden administration, at most, you would see him once a week.
I'm sitting here cracking up. I got to show this to you. I can't play the music because obviously YouTube won't let me. But you got to see this. This is somebody, I don't know if it's Dan Scavino or what they did. and the song that they're playing is from, what's her name? Sarah McLachlan. I Will Remember You. Oh my goodness. No mercy whatsoever. Give these people absolutely no quarter. Oh my goodness. My safe space. Trump was right all along. Oh my goodness. Oh, poor people. Ducey's still talking. Hold on.
Here, you were mentioning it, people having a problem with it. You don't hear a ton of complaints about the access, because I don't know who could argue that covers this president that there is not a tremendous amount of access. And something that I think of a lot of the times when I'm in there with the president, wherever in the world we are, is what are we going to do when this ends?
Well,
and we have to cover a president and we don't have like 5 pages of quotes to cut down for a minute 45 piece with Brett Baer at 6 o'clock.
Well, I have another question then, because I was on the trip to the Gulf states, and you've traveled with both presidents a lot, and you've been on Air Force One a lot more than me. And so what was the difference? Because I watched Donald Trump. He didn't sleep on the way out 17 hours. He didn't sleep on the way back. I know because I was in the room with him for a good part of that time, and I only left when I needed a break and wanted something to eat. What was the difference there between President Biden and President Trump?
The difference is that this president just wants to a perfect example would be when we.
So I was able to find the video I was telling you about where Stephen Miller was just going off. Listen to this.
Do you have any insight? Peter Doocy believes that the president's going to come out very, very strong tonight. Can you confirm that?
Well, I think that's a very safe bet, Sean. And I also think that tonight President Trump's going to be very clear. The Democrats got nothing, Sean. They got nothing. Chuck Schumer went to the wall and lost. Hakeem Jeffries went to the wall and lost. Because at the end of the day, they could not convince Americans that we should shut down the government to fund their pet programs, to fund free benefits for illegal aliens, to fund health care for people who shouldn't even be in this country. What's terrifying, though, Sean, to keep hitting on this theme, is that the moderates have been driven out of the Democrat Party. Manchin is gone. Sinema is gone. And everyone in that party understands that if they don't toe the line with the leftists, they'll be driven out too. So we, as a country, we don't have a mainstream Democrat Party. We don't have a moderate Democrat Party. We have a party of crazies and lunatics and radical leftists and open borders nut jobs. That's bad for America. It's bad for the American people. It's bad for the world, Sean.
All right, so that's Stephen Miller. I want to show you something. They turned the feed on, and the cameraman's like sitting here with he's taking pictures of people's feet. I have no idea who that is, but obviously his camera is pointing down. But the feed is on. I don't know if that's Caroline. I have no idea. I can't recognize someone's shoes. But there's obviously two ladies there, right there. So they're getting ready. We're seeing some behind the scenes type thing. As people give me the feed, I can pull the feed in, but I have no idea what they're taking a picture of here, because it could literally be anything. So it could be reporters waiting to get in. I can't tell you. As soon as they give me a full shot, I will cut to it. In the interim, here's Sean again with a couple people. The cameraman has a foot fetish.
This shuts our government down, and it's all to counter Trump, and it's to hurt the good economy that's coming. When we pass the Trump tax cuts, this renewal, that is going to energize the economy. They were trying to stop that. They will do anything and everything to take back power at no cost. It doesn't matter who they hurt, in order to hurt this economy so that they can, disrupt the midterms and get back in power. That's all this was about. This was about stopping our economy from taking off, and we did pretty well in spite of all that.
Yeah, so, Mike Lawler, and this was about an hour and a half ago. Going into tonight, I don't know. I was checking in with Speaker Johnson. He did tell me about Greg Steube and Tom Massey. If it was a party line vote, you didn't have any more room to lose any more Republicans, or else this could have failed. Now, in the end, you ended up getting 6 Democratic votes to open up the government. One, by the way, from New York, Tom Suozzi, which I was pleasantly surprised by. But every other Democrat, no. Hardline, stick to the radical base that runs the party now. Are they all feeling that pressure from the new leadership, if you will?
No question. There were 6 Democrats that voted in favor, including Jared Golden, who has voted every time with us to keep the government open and funded. Marie Gluesenkamp Perez, another who did as well today, and Don Davis. And they were right to. But you look at this situation, and they are beholden, by and large, to their leadership. I'm a member of Problem Solvers, and we have folks who were saying they didn't want to get ahead of Hakeem Jeffries. And that's just fundamentally wrong. The whole objective for all of us is to lead and to serve our communities, our constituents, and to be an independent voice. I voted every time to keep the government funded and open while Joe Biden was president because I didn't want to inflict any pain on my constituents. New York, Sean, is got the 7th largest population of federal employees. You look at my district, 50% of households have a veteran, a cop, a firefighter living in the household. The fact that our active duty military weren't being paid is absolutely disgraceful. The fact that you had 42 million people not getting SNAP benefits, WIC running out of funding. Kirsten Gillibrand and Chuck Schumer, the two U.S. senators from New York, voted 15 times to shut the government down and inflict pain on the American people and New Yorkers. It is disgraceful. It is disgusting. It is fundamentally what is wrong with government and why people get so angry. My constituents were furious when they found out they weren't going to get SNAP benefits. We have a serious food insecurity problem in this country because of the Biden policies that created record inflation, exploded the cost of groceries, the cost of living, housing costs, healthcare costs. You know.
All right, so we're moving. Looks like they're heading into the Oval Office right now. Cameraman's got his camera pointed up to the sky. All right, everyone's getting. There we go. All right, this should be fun. Let's listen in.
Thank you very much. This is a big day tonight. Very important what is taking place because we've seen how very much. This is a big day tonight. Very important what is taking place because we've seen how good government can be and how bad government can be if people don't know what they're doing. For the past 43 days, Democrats in Congress shut down the government of the United States in an attempt to extort American taxpayers for hundreds of billions of dollars for illegal aliens and people that came into our country illegally from gangs, from prisons, from mental institutions. They wanted to pay them $1.5 trillion, which would have really hurt our healthcare businesses and our recipients at levels never seen before. Today, we're sending a clear message that we will never give in to extortion, because that's what it was. They tried to extort. The Democrats tried to extort our country. In just a moment, I'll sign a bill exactly like we asked Democrats to send us all along, many days ago. This cost the country $1.5 trillion, this little excursion that they took us on. Republicans never wanted a shutdown and voted 15 times for a clean continuation of funding. There's never been a time when one or the other party ever didn't sign a continuation. It's just a continuation, not a big deal. It's a continuation, and we'll talk later. Yet the extremists in the other party insisted on creating the longest government shutdown in American history, and they did it purely for political reasons. I want to thank Speaker Mike Johnson, Senate Majority Leader John Thune, as well as House Majority Leader Steve Scalise, Majority Whip Tom Emmer, and numerous other great Republican leaders and congressmen and senators who are here and who frankly spent a long time in Washington getting this thing to go away. I also want to thank the broad coalition of Americans that stood with us in this fight to reopen government, including the Teamsters, the American Federation of Government Employees, the Fraternal Order of Police, AMVETS, the National Small Business Association, the American Farm Bureau, the American Trucking Association. These are all incredible patriots. The Airlines for America, the Allied Pilots Association, the National Air Traffic Controllers Association, and many others, unions and non-unions. Over the past 7 weeks, the Democrats' shutdown has inflicted massive harm. They caused 20,000 flights to be canceled or delayed. They departed so many times, so late. People were hurt so badly. Nobody's ever seen anything like this one. This was a no-brainer. This was an easy extension. But they didn't want to do it the easy way. They had to do it the hard way. And they look very bad, the Democrats do. They deprived more than 1 million government workers from their paychecks and cut off food stamp benefits for millions and millions more Americans in need. They caused tens of thousands of federal contractors and small businesses to go unpaid, and the total effect of the damage their antics caused will take weeks and probably months to really calculate accurately. including the serious harm that they did to our economy and to people and to families. So I just want to tell the American people, you should not forget this when we come up to midterms and other things. Don't forget what they've done to our country. I also want to call for a termination to the filibuster so that this can never happen again. If we had the filibuster terminated, this would never happen again. And don't forget, we have another date coming up in the not too distant future. We can never let this happen again. And we should be able to pass great, really great legislation. So I say terminate the filibuster because, by the way, the Democrats will do it immediately if they ever assumed office, which hopefully they won't. Today we had the highest stock market price ever in all of the different markets. We set a record. It's the 48th time in the 9 months that I've been in office that we had this record set. So think of that, 48 times we had a record set, but today is the highest of them all. We're going to break new grounds. Nobody would have thought. I have with us not only the great political leaders, but the great business leaders of our country. They're standing right behind me and right really alongside of me. And if we would have told them a year ago that we'd be having stock prices this high, none of them, in fact, I just asked them that question, none of them would have believed it. And that inures to jobs and, very importantly, to 401ks, which have also set a record today, a record high for the people that have 401ks. And also, I want to thank Walmart because they came up with a fantastic study. It was the cost of Thanksgiving coming up and the cost of Thanksgiving from a year ago under Sleepy Joe Biden, and we're 25% lower this year than we were a year ago. And it's a very inclusive report, so I want to thank Walmart. They've done it for many years, but we believe in that, and we believe in that company. I want to also thank the 8 Senate Democrats who finally did the right thing in voting to end this craziness, this madness, but unfortunately the vast majority of congressional Democrats were happy for millions of Americans to suffer. They really did suffer too. And the Democrats admitted, they said, well, no, we finally have a point. Even though people have to suffer, we finally have a point, and that didn't work out too well for them. But they really went out and they could appease the fringe benefits of their far-left base, but that didn't work out because now their far-left base is angrier than ever before. We actually elected a mayor of New York City who happens to be a communist. When was that going to happen? Remember, I said all the time during my campaign, we will never be a socialist country. And that's right. We turned out to have a communist in New York City. And if you look at his views, those are the views of a communist, not a socialist. So this is no way to run a country. I hope we can all agree that the government should never be shut down again. End the filibuster, terminate the filibuster. It'll never happen again. So with my signature, the federal government will now resume normal operations, and my administration and our partners in Congress will continue our work to lower the cost of living, restore public safety, grow our economy, and make America affordable again for all Americans. Again, costs are way down. Energy is way down. Gasoline is at $2.50 a gallon versus $4.70 for the Democrats. And we think we're going to hit pretty close to $2 a gallon. That's like a really massive tax cut. It's the equivalent of that. And speaking of tax cuts, our great, big, beautiful bill is giving everybody in our economy, middle income workers, low income, everybody, the biggest tax cut in the history of our country. And it's no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, and very importantly, no tax on overtime. You work overtime, there's no tax. That's among the things that add up to the biggest tax cut in history. And one other thing, you hear about rich people with deductions. Well, when you buy your car and you borrow money, you're allowed to now deduct the interest on that loan. So you can take that interest deduction and what you can take is that interest payment and deduct it for income tax purposes. That's a tremendous tax cut right there. But it all includes fixing the health care system that Democrats broke with the disaster known as Obamacare. Obamacare was a disaster from day one. It's done nothing but go up. And if you remember President Barack Hussein Obama, when he came up with this crazy idea. He said everything's going to be great, rates are going to go down, payments are going to go down, everything's going to go down. It went the exact opposite, with the biggest increase of healthcare in any country. It's a disaster. And I'm calling today for insurance companies not to be paid, but for the money, this massive amount of money, to be paid directly to the people of our country so that they can buy their own health care, which will be far better and far less expensive than the disaster known as Obamacare. And I've had, I think, great support. I've even had Democrat support. So we want the money that would be going to the insurance company, which is hundreds of billions of dollars. You know, their stock prices have gone up by 1,000% in many cases, 1,000% over a short period of time, because our country stupidly pays them so much money with this Obamacare scandal. So I want the money to go directly to you, the people. And you go out and you'll buy your own health insurance and you'll negotiate different plans and you'll get much better insurance, and you will be an entrepreneur for yourself. So I'm always willing to work with anyone, including the other party. We'll work on something having to do with health care. We can do a lot better. We can do great. So much money is involved, and we're willing to pay so much money to the people. So we're going to pay a lot of money to the people. They're going to go out and buy their own health care, and we're going to forget this Obamacare madness. So with all of that, I just want to tell you the country has never been in better shape. We went through this short-term disaster with the Democrats because they thought it would be good politically. And it's an honor now to sign this incredible bill and get our country working again. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. I don't know if you have questions. I think we really have a really great situation. We have a country that we love, and we have a country that's in great shape. As you know, we have now it's over $18 trillion invested in our country by other people and countries. That's a record. There's never been a country that had so much, and that money's going into also building new auto plants, new AI plants, new everything. We've never had a time like this. Thank you very much, everybody.
Mr. President, are you prepared to negotiate with Democrats now?
Mr. President, on Jeffrey Epstein.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys for going.
Mr. President, can you respond to these Epstein emails that were released today?
Oh, shut up. Can you please reply to these Epstein questions? How about this? How about go F yourself? My God, man, what is wrong with these people? He's sitting there with, half of the leadership in the Republican Party. They just reopened the government, and some moron. Can you respond to the Epstein stuff? Yeah, I'll respond. How about go F yourself? I got one piece before we get out of here. I got to show you. This was Mike Johnson earlier absolutely torching the Democrats. I think we can see where this is headed real quick here.
Next week, get ready. We're gonna take you through a timeline of who destroyed American health care. And I'll give you a hint. It didn't have anything to do with the Republican Party. It was the Democrats. They're the ones that gave you the Unaffordable Care Act. They're the ones that have been trying to subsidize it and prop it up and add to it ever since. We're the ones that have been trying to fix it. The Republican Party has. What has happened since the Democrats wrecked American health care is that your premiums have gone up by some cases 60%, in some cases more. And it's going to go up further. So their solution is right now they want to subsidize it further. They want to subsidize insurance companies. They want the COVID era extension that was created by the Democrats themselves. They created the subsidy. They're the ones that put the expiration date of December 31 of 2025 on that. They knew it wasn't going to be permanent because it was a boondoggle. And now they're trying to claim it's Republicans' fault? The Democrats created it. The Democrats broke it. The Democrats are driving your cost up. Who are you going to trust to fix health care? It's the Republican Party, because we have volumes of ideas on how to do this, on how to fix it, on how to drive costs down, and how to increase access to care and quality of care, and you're going to see all that vigorous debate. So the answer to your question is, am I going to guarantee a vote on ACA unreformed COVID-era subsidies that is just a boondoggle to insurance companies and robs the taxpayer? We got a lot of work to do on that. The Republicans would demand a lot of reforms before anything like that was ever possible, and we have to go through that deliberative process. We have currently 433 members of the House of Representatives. There's a lot of opinions in this building, and on our side, certainly a lot of opinions on how to fix health care and make it more affordable.
Oh boy, we're about to see some stuff happen here. He didn't say yes. He didn't say no, but he didn't say yes. They're all saying, hey, you agreed that you'll bring it up to a vote. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. And so now the Democrats are going to freak out. They're going to feel like they've been bamboozled, they've been hoodwinked, they've been lied to. And at this point, if I'm President Trump, I put a baseball bat in the office and get this done. I think the thing that I focused in on the most, because it was something I didn't expect, he's still talking about the filibuster. And I thought to myself, how could they do it now after they just signed a continuing resolution? I'm going to tell you how, because they got to do all of this all over again in January. I want you to know that. This is right now. And then they're going to have to do it all over again in January. The entire process has to happen again. The government runs out of money. I think it's mid-January or late January, and they're going to have to do this all over again. And so just because he didn't do and bust up the filibuster in November doesn't mean it survives January. I think now we're going to see a ramp up where he's going to push and tell these people this is where we need to go. So we shall see. We shall see. This is where it may end up. So third show tonight. Thank you. This was the best one. I love the fact that our government is now back open. And yes, if nobody had told you, we do got to do this all over again in a couple months. The entire process. At that point, we'll see where we are. All right, everybody. I will see you tomorrow, probably about 1:30. President Trump and Melania are doing something. They're signing an executive order, something that's a pet project for her. And so I will see you. Hold on. SV's not here to remind me, so I have to check myself. And I forgot to check and see if there. Okay, let me look and see if there's any super chats in here. If so, then I will cover them. Yes. Okay. Hold on. Let me go through these. Find the right window, which I always have to do. Which window? Where's the number? Where is it? Where is the right window? There it is. Okay. Let me go ahead and do this, and so you guys can have yourselves a good night. All right. So, 1 second here. Wow, I'm psyched. I'm absolutely psyched because I know he's still ready for a fight. He's still ready to fight. Metalhead, why do you think Canada is fighting with U.S. tariffs and then order with the UK Patriot missiles to Ukraine? Because nobody wants to pony up the money. That's an easy one. They don't want to have to give up the money. K&M Overlanders, we love you, Barry. Thank you. Thank you so much for what you bring to us. You rock. Thank you. Metalhead, British Empire banks are ending Trump tariffs. Can't wait for the Supreme Court to get their act together. Haley Orozco, please pray the home builders in Dallas-Fort Worth. We've seen a massive decrease in sales and good American workers are being let go. Wow. Metalhead again, AMD, FICO, NVIDIA going to sky. Nicholas, hey Nicholas, haven't seen you in a while. Barry is a former government worker who went through these shutdowns. You'll get a lump sum, but more than half will be taken in taxes. The workers get screwed. That sucks. Metalhead, get your claws out. These communists never stop. No, they don't. Judy, thanks Barry. You're the best. Thank you, Judy, for watching. And Kim, Trump is standing strong for all of us. He is getting everything he promised done. The Dems are screwed because now indeed, if he goes for the kill the filibuster in January and they've got no kind of bargaining power, wow. All right, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow. Good day.
News.